Yo, so if you guys have been watching specifically the OBS stuff recently, there's been some ups and downs, and a lot of it has to do with not getting the best parts. Now, I talked about that last Tuesday morning tech tip, and that one was not my fault. But it has happened last week, 100% my fault. We've made the same mistake time and time again, and it's probably about time that we talk about it. All right, let me say first and foremost, I know that it looks like we went back in time. We didn't. And to figure out why this had to come back off, you got to wait till Friday. But you guys, if you're following this build, which, guys, I absolutely love this truck. I love the way it's coming out. But as always, you know, there's a couple things you'd probably do just a little bit different, right? From, I don't know, 10 feet away, it looks awesome, right? All the little things that are wrong that I notice, you don't notice, or maybe you do. If you do, you're better at this than I am, that's for sure. But this truck was never meant to be like perfect, and it never will be, guys. It's just that simple. But the more I work on it, the cleaner it becomes, and the more I really want to take off the hokiness, you know, the cheesy little parts or some of the cheaper stuff I bought, because it just doesn't fit right. It doesn't work right. And in the case of last week, I won't even bother putting it on. So I'm going to flip you guys around and show you some of the mistakes I've made. Some of the things I probably should have spent a little bit more money on, maybe a little bit more time picking it out. Maybe just left it alone, whatever the case may be. But that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to sit down and talk about it and see how much money I actually saved, or did I actually cost myself money. I think I know the answer. I think you guys do too. And Kevin is just sitting there right now saying, I frickin' told you so.
First I say I told her so, but you know what? I told her so. I told her so.
Just so you guys remember, we're going to throw a picture up, show you what this truck looked like when we first got it. And it was obviously just completely different. All right, so compare that to now, with the exception that the grill's not here, because that's kind of how we picked it up as well. Day and night, right? We made some great choices, from the wheel and tire combo to the window tint to the bed liner, cleaning up the paint. I mean, all the obvious stuff, right? But kind of staring us right in the face is these mirrors, right? It looks kind of like a stock one, except for it is ridiculously shiny, because apparently the plastic is shinier in China. We bought these, so this one was broken. It was a big, well, you saw in the picture, the big work truck metal guy that I'm not a big fan of. I like these better. Luckily, I was able to get some shine out of this paint so it doesn't look terrible, but when I first put them on, they were awful. Like I said, they look stock with the exception of the shininess, but there's more than that, guys. Because when you buy stuff like that, I think I paid $50 for both of those. Which, okay, but look at this. Right? That doesn't seem like a big deal, right? We'll go over the other side. It doesn't seem like a big deal until you're doing about 65 miles an hour and you go to look out of your mirror and all you see is this, right? Because it's just enough play in there that it's going to, yeah. I probably should have paid up for some better mirrors. That being said, I did pay up for this guy, the antenna. Simple thing, it fits just beautifully. Absolutely love it. I think I paid $40 just because I wanted the stock one. Because after buying these and figuring out how that all worked, I didn't want to buy some hooky antenna and have it flopping all over the place. I stand by that decision. We'll talk about those in a minute. Out back here, guys, probably remember the tailgate was a nightmare. It wouldn't even open, right? So looking back, I could have bought the kit, which included the handle, the bezel around it, both of the, well, actually, I think all four of the hinges, the hinge points, everything for like $50. Well, the only thing I ended up replacing was this bezel, and I cleaned up and painted this. Guys, it works so great, though. Oh, and that kit came with new cables, too. I kind of refurbished those, cleaned up the latches. The only hinge point we replaced was that one. It works perfect, but you know what? I got way more money, way more time in just replacing two parts. So was that a good choice? All right, while we're looking at the back of it, the bed liner. Guys, it cleaned this thing up like crazy. I absolutely love this the way this came out, right? But I paid like, where's the stuff? Right over here. Paid like $85 for that guy. And it did a coat and some change. That was not great. So luckily I had some of that spray stuff from Rust-Oleum, because this was really shiny, if you remember, guys, the first coat I did. I sprayed that over it. I didn't like the Rust-Oleum stuff because there wasn't a lot of texture to it. I didn't like the other stuff because it was too shiny. When we put them together, it came out perfect. But at the end of the day, I spent about the same amount of money as if I would have gone, you know, one tier higher in quality, and it probably would have came out exactly the same. You guys might remember, we did a ton of work in the interior. We ended up having to change, we did a lot of wiring. Changed some switches, the brake light switch, the turn signal switch, a couple of things that need to be done. And we bought the right parts there. We bought the best part that was available. Luckily, we had the seat in stock. Nick provided the carpet, which looks great. We were able to clean up all these moldings and stuff, except for like Nick provided these, which is they're beautiful. Love them. And everything else was just elbow grease. Well, mostly. We grabbed this bezel out of the junkyard because the guy before us camoed the other one and it was not coming out well. Megan made some new lettering there, a couple things in here she did that with, and it really cleans it up because I might have scrubbed a little too hard. Besides the point. So luckily the dash was already in really nice shape and everything came out good. Now here's a stereo over here. This is where I'm kind of torn because is it cheesy? Absolutely. Quiet down here. Super cheesy, but that's why I love it. And I think it fits the build, right? Because it's, guys, I was around in the 90s. These were not. This is 2000 stuff. But you get it. It's fine, all right? It's got Android Auto, and there's two little posts, or what do you call these things? Ports in the front. One works really good. The other one, I have no idea what it does because it doesn't seem to do anything. But the one that works really good works when it wants to. So sometimes we have this screen up. And sometimes I hit a couple bumps and this screen comes up. After about 10 minutes of driving is usually when it happens. And then I got to switch to Bluetooth because it's just not working anymore. Now, is that because like it's put together wrong? I mean, probably put together wrong because I'm pretty sure this is made overseas. When I say that, I mean China again because I think I paid $65 for it. I don't know. Is that a good choice or not? You tell me. While we're in the cab, one lesson we learned is right here. These things are awesome. And I tried to use those covers. It did not work out at all. So I kind of just threw that money away. Most expensive rags I've ever bought. These things work great. They look great. And, well, I bought them a little too late. We'll talk about that in a minute. One last thing about the interior that actually kind of drives me nuts are the floor mats. They are super cheap, super thin, Walmart specials, and they move all over. They don't really fit right, but they look a little bit better than the ones that we had in there before that. Those are actually right here, the Motor Trend specials here. We bought those offline for the kid ZR2 like 100 years ago. And as you can see, we tried to use them in the truck. Absolutely hated them. They're back on the shelf for, well, the next bad decision, I guess. We still have the original bumper on the truck. That's why there's a rust hole in it. But I did put on the new license plate bracket, which I think I already mentioned this. The license plate doesn't fit in it, guys. I had to bend this thing to get it to kind of go in. And little stuff like that just, oh man, it makes me crazy. And guys, the grand poobah of them all, we can't forget the motivation that caused me to make this video, tearing apart all my decisions. This Amazon special that I thought I was getting a smoking deal on, supposed to be chrome. Can you tell it's not? Maybe it was dipped to half a time. If you look at this front part of it, this is how this is. This is supposed to be chrome, guys. What is, oh my goodness, what happened there? Don't think that's gonna fit right. It doesn't, all right? I'll tell you that. Well, we just walked around the whole truck, and so I don't get confused or repeat myself or that kind of stuff, made a list. Let's get into it. So, the mirrors, first thing we talked about, and I was torn, guys. So, these were $50, like I said, and you can never really tell the overall finish of things online, which is one thing I've always hated about online shopping. You guys have heard me talk about it before. The actual factory correct ones were $150, $200, something like that. They were significantly more money, and those mirrors were one of the first things I bought for this truck because I had to pass inspection. The other one was broken, and I did want these types of mirrors. I thought I was kind of torn between these or the smaller sport mirrors you see on the 454 SS. I was going back and forth, actually watching Mortsky when he did his truck, his OBS. People were sending him mirrors, and he ended up, he had the big ones, didn't like them. He tried these, liked them better, and then put on the 454 ones, and essentially he stayed with those. But he did say he can't see out of them the best. I mean, they are small. I think they're the exact same size I had in my 5-liter, which is a car, right? So there you go. If I remember correctly, the big Mickey Mouse looking ones that come on the truck, he said those you saw the best out of, and I can see why. They're the biggest. Then these, then of course, the 454 ones last. I wish I bought the 454 ones. Right? They came primered, so I could have just matte black spray can them the same way I have everything else, so it all would have matched. And I think it would overall complement the look of the truck with the stance and the wheels and all that other stuff. So we're probably going to buy those. And I want to say carparts.com, which I got some stuff for this is the OBS, the Suburban off of. And everything I got from there was pretty much factory correct. So it'll probably be the ones that they put on those trucks stock, the sport trucks or whatever. So I think it'll fit a lot better. Shouldn't shake around, and that should fix my problem. But, yeah. Next thing was we talked about the antenna. You can buy them all day long, guys, like $8, $9 off Amazon. But they have like a swivel adapter or something. You can tell they're not stock, and I can only imagine how frustrating it would be to mount everything. I really like the way this one looks, and I bought this way after I bought the mirrors and some other things. So By that time, I was already kind of focused on let's buy factory correct, and it's going to fit better. I got that actually from carparts.com. I want to say it's 40 or 43 bucks, 42 bucks after shipping. I think it was like 25 and then shipping. So one of those things, if you're going to buy from one of those guys that charge shipping, get a bigger order together and you might save a couple dollars. The tailgate kit, guys, I could go either way on this one. If I would have bought the kit off of whatever.com, I think it was actually an eBay thing. So you remember the ones I got off eBay sucked. So I imagine the kit might have been the same thing. I would have gotten the cables, the handle, everything. It came with everything. So if you don't have anything in your tailgate or if it's all bent or broken or whatever, that's the way to go. For this one, I had one bad hinge, and I was missing the bezel. Everything else cleaned up great. And once I got it all aligned and, figured out how to rig everything, rigging as in specifically making everything where it's supposed to be, not like, jerry rigging that we talk about. So, who's Jerry? Actually, my buddy Jerry. Yeah, he probably. You know what? Sorry, Jerry. Let me get back after this. So, I spent a little less money doing it my way. It was $7 for the bezel, and then I had a spray paint all over the place. So to clean the handle up and make it look nice was next to nothing. And I want to say it was like $14 for that one, and that was actually from Rock Auto. It was an AC Delco part, so it's high quality, definitely higher quality than the pop metal crap the guy sold me before. I think I stick by that, man. The more I thought about it, yeah, I could have for a couple dollars more. I think what do I have? $25 invested to fix that tailgate. So I think it was $45, $50. I would have had the whole kit, but I didn't need it. So if you don't need the whole kit, I would once again go to Rock Auto and get the AC Delco stuff, so I don't get mad putting it in. That seemed to work out well for me. The bed liner. I've used this one before, but it was really hard for me to find the Duplicolor one. The first time I used it, guys, it was 25 years ago in my little orange Ram 50. And that was the only thing. There was that or Herculiner on the market. And Herculiner is like non-skid on the flight deck. And if you've ever been up there, it is not forgiving. All right. And it just doesn't look very good. It looks very coarse or whatever. And I didn't like the texture of it. It was you remember the ceilings in the 80s when they pull down the spackles? It was like that. And it was just too much. I couldn't do it. If you don't remember that, Google it. And you'll probably see what I'm talking about. So that's why I liked the Duplicolor. That roller I really liked because it's a really good texture. But it was really hard to find this time. I think 25 years ago, you walk into Walmart or AutoZone or any of your big chain, it was there. Not anymore. I had to get it online. I had to search for it on eBay. The guy gave me a good deal. I think it was normally like $100. He gave me for $85. It was. It seemed like it might have almost been past its date. It didn't really want to hold on as good. It took a little extra doing, right? So, and I ended up using more material. And like I said before, those turbo cans are cool. They're great. I like them, but I don't like the way that without that Duplicolor, I wouldn't have liked the texture. With them mixed together, it came out perfect. Took longer, So there's that. But there's other stuff on the market now, and next time I do one, I'm thinking about trying this Raptor liner, and you might see that sooner than you think. So, more to follow on that. The stereo. I like the looks of it. It works great. Because I wanted that specific thing with the knob in the middle, because I like the way that looked, it came with less options than some of the other cheapo ones on Amazon and eBay and whatnot. It doesn't have a backup camera, which, I don't need it. You can see everything in this truck, and it's not a very long truck. So I'm not really worried about that. I don't know if I'll ever use it. It does have a microphone. I don't have it installed because I really don't care about that stuff. Maybe If I start taking on road trips, maybe I'll put that in probably. But for now, it's just whatever. I kind of want to see how this works because when I hooked this up, and I know I mentioned in the video, the strands of wire were so thin, and you could almost count them. So I didn't like the way that happened at all. I stripped extra wire and actually soldered them all together, and then heat shrunk them because I was trying to do everything I could to make sure this connection was held. So I imagine that's the same trash wiring and probably circuit board and all that inside that thing. That's where they save their money. And yeah, I don't think I'd buy that again. When it quit working, it wasn't that old, right? I mean, it was the first time I used the Android Auto. And every time since then, it's about the same time frame as it quits working. So I wanted this one. If I do things like tailgate tour, that kind of stuff, I'd like to be able to put, have the map up there rather than messing with my phone, and I can see this big screen and it'll tell me that's what I wanted to use it for. I don't think I can do that, so I don't know, guys. I got to think this one through. I was saying when I contacted the seller, they were like, "Oh, we don't have a record of your sale." I was like, "It's funny because I have a record of you taking my money." So they wanted me to send them the thing that, so I sent them a screenshot of it and all this kind of stuff. And I never heard nothing back from them. So I hooked them up with some really solid feedback, and hopefully there's a special place in hell for that guy. Now, if I wanted to replace it with that kind of stereo with a better name brand of Pioneer or Kenwood or whatever the kids are putting in things nowadays, right, guys? Obviously, I haven't cared about a stereo system. Well, maybe not obviously, but I really haven't cared about a stereo system since the 90s. So I'm probably way out of date with that stuff. I don't care as long as it works. You know what I mean? Sounds good, we're good. But I just looked it up on like Crutchfield, Pioneer, and Sony, or whatever the other names were. $829 is what that stereo goes for in one of the name brand ones. So we're not doing that. That's clearly not going to happen. I'll roll with that for $75 or whatever until it just doesn't work at all. And then if you guys know me at all, I'll probably buy another $75 one and hope we get a better one. But there's other things. These trucks are super popular, guys. So I'm on a lot of the pages, and there's guys that are using where there's a little pocket in there. So you got your bezel, your speedometer and stuff here, and the radio's way off to the side. So if you had a higher model one, your stereo would be right next to you above your heater controls, and that was just a pocket. Actually, I think your cassette player was there, and your CD player was over, or depending on the year and the model and all that. But they make a lot of stuff where it fits right in that pocket of it's like a Marine brand or something. These guys are all using them. They seem to be pretty cheap, and it's closer because I don't like the fact that I got to reach out there. But I do. It looks cool when it flips out. Or maybe not. Maybe cool is the wrong word. But so we'll see. Maybe I'll go with that. Maybe we'll do. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. But I wasn't going to spend $829, so I think it's a good decision for now, and we can build on it. The sun visors. Motto. What a freaking nightmare. I went on eBay again, and eBay's not all bad, guys, but you got to be careful. So this guy, small company, like probably him and like his wife is probably what we're working with. And they would, I remember going through this thing. I not Googled, but I was searching for replacement sun visors. They're pricey, right? So if you want to go through like any of the big companies, Classic Industries, all these guys, you're going to pay up. Interior stuff is not cheap, right? So this guy had, it seemed like it was only for this truck. So I was like, oh, cool, specialty. Which, like I said, they're so popular, it's definitely possible that you could make a living, I guess, just on these trucks. But, living, but a nice little side hustle. So he had covers, custom covers that slid over them and were supposed to fit, and they didn't work. So they were originally gray in here, and you guys see the headliner I have that Oli just absolutely loves, right? But the gray didn't look right. I painted a lot of things black, like the light bezel and other stuff that was up there on the ceiling, so it kind of, ceiling? Roof, whatever. So it made it kind of blend. So I was trying to go black with those, and it just, so many things could have been done differently. They had like all these options, like, do you want the mirror cut out? I was like, wow, this guy's really doing his homework. This is going to be great. It didn't fit. It was black with gray sticking out. Then he remade them, and they came out maybe better, but worse in some ways, because actually they were loose and they flapped around. I should have paid a little bit of attention to the feedback on there, because there were some pictures of some really sloppy stuff. And when I talked to the guy, now when I looked at the pictures of his ad, it was all AI. So he kind of got me with that. And it almost looked like a catalog. And I said, okay, I really thought he had a whole line of stuff. And then when it showed up and I looked back at his picture, I was like, no, this is somebody else's stuff. Or AI, whatever. And when I asked him about it, he's like, oh, yeah, well, that's, we're a small business. That's all we could use. I said, no, you're a small business. You use your actual product, and if it didn't suck, and then, yeah. So that guy got my $40, and I have $40 rags. I mean, if he would have made them out of some kind of like elastic material, but it was like just, I don't know what they were, but it was like, it didn't stretch at all. So it just wasn't the right way to do it. He could have done a way better job. So hopefully he gets better or finds a new thing to try and rip people off on the internet with, because I hooked his feedback up, made a video, so I don't know. Hopefully people are doing better than me. So next thing was the floor mats. I don't regret buying these. They were $15 at Walmart, and it's whatever. The ones that we had over there, I showed you on the shelf, the Motor Trend ones. We bought them for the kids' ZR2. He had that S10 ZR2 package, and the rubber floor mats nowadays, guys, they're trying to make them all molded like I don't know, whatever those guys are, the WeatherTechs and stuff, but they're not. You can't, if you don't buy the ones made for that truck, they're not going to fit right. So when they get real thick and there's big lips on them, that truck was a stick. The clutch would catch it all the time. Actually, I have similar ones in my 65, and I had the same problem there. So I put them in here, and yeah, this one's an automatic, but I didn't like the way it looked. And then it was, every time you just put your foot on it, it was a big footprint. They just absorbed it. So it was like a different type of rubber or whatever. I didn't like them at all. I thought it made it look dirty. So I bought these because they looked a little closer to the originals, and they were $15. And they haven't aggravated me as much as the other ones, if that makes any sense. The originals are pricey for me because they're like $100, $150. And they fit perfectly. They look great. I just couldn't bring myself. Those Motor Trend ones were $25, and then these were $15. I don't know, man. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. We'll see. Holidays are upon us. Maybe Santa hooked me up. Hoping. But that's where we're at with that. The plate bracket. Guys, I couldn't believe it when I put I was like, are you serious? The plate doesn't, its only purpose for being is to hold this license plate, and it doesn't fit. I can't find where I bought it from. I'm thinking maybe carparts.com, but their stuff's usually pretty legit, so I don't know. I looked on, Megan takes all the Amazon orders. It's not there. I looked at my eBay stuff. It's not there. So it was somewhere else online, and is what it is. Maybe go to the junkyard, get one that was stock. Find one that's not cracked. Good luck, or don't crack coming off. So I'm gonna try and find a better place to source a new one because it was only $15. We'll see how this goes, but yeah, it's whatever. I don't regret buying it because it's better than the crap that I had. Because every time I leaned against the front working on it, I'd bend the plate, and that's just, when you have a beat up license plate, it just looks sloppy. It makes me crazy. So that's better than what we had. It's not going to get damaged over there, so we're good. The bumper. Guys, this is 100% my fault. As soon as I said something to Megan, like, this thing sucks. She's like, well, did you read the reviews? And I said, no. I don't know nothing about Amazon, guys, so I don't have an account. I see something that comes up, I tell Megan to buy it. She usually screens that stuff because she knows I don't know nothing. And was like, hey, this thing sucks, or hey, I can find a better one. And she does that. Well, maybe I said something out of the way to her once before when she told me something sucked. And she just said, okay, and she bought it. This had a 1-star review. And the fact that you can't go lower than that tells me that it's bottom of the barrel. I guess I'm luckier than some people because it at least resembles some kind of form of chrome and a bumper that might fit. Some of the stuff is crazy. Guys actually put on their truck. Within a month, they were rusting because you see how thin it is. It's just raw metal, right? And scams, guys. So I paid $200 for it. Free shipping. So I was like, sweet, free shipping. Well, when one of the guys that left the review, it was awful. He went to send it back. They wanted $350 to ship it back. Well, obviously, he got just like I did, and I don't know what he did. Probably threw it in the trash, or I don't know, whatever he did, who knows. I'm sure he's not happy. That I can guarantee you. So, for me, honestly, the one I'll keep looking over here. You see that's where it's at. The stock one that came with the truck, even with that rust hole in it, I would be better off, because it does sit low, and I put the valance on it, it kind of takes your eye away. If I had some chrome spray paint and just sprayed over that rust and that hole and stuff, metal tape would look better covering that than the thing that's over there. So we're going to leave that. We're going to maybe hit the junkyard. I like the work truck one that doesn't have the impact strip on it, so I want that. I think it's a way cleaner look. There are some other companies that have it. So Classic Auto, or Classic Industries, Classic something. I think it's Classic Industries. They have, guys, they're a big name. Classic Industries, big name. I look on it, they got the same bump for $200. I was like, you son of a bitch. Why didn't I buy that? Why would I go with Amazon and not them? And then I went to buy it. And they want $555 for shipping. I was like, oh, that's why I didn't buy it. They're effing crazy. So I kept looking. Carparts.com has the same for $250. The bumper that's on here looks stock with the valance for $250, and then $100 shipping. So that's doable. It's not ridiculous. I can't believe. Well, I think I know now why I sold the one that I got off of that parts truck for like $100, which wasn't the best, but I think I know why. That guy probably went through what I'm going through and was like, just give me whatever, dude. I'm not there yet, but we had an idea, and I don't know if it was Jay or if it was old Wade, but one of them mentioned, maybe both of them mentioned, well, hey, man, why don't you just, all these vendors come to Carlisle, so why don't you wait till the spring? Carlisle's up there. We're probably going to go anyways. You can buy it there for their price and not pay the shipping. I said, man, that might work out. So we got to see who's going to be up there. Either the spring fling or whatever they call that thing, the spring swap meet, or the truck nationals. OBS trucks are pretty popular, so I should be able to find something if I can wait that long, because I'm not the most patient man. I know this is getting long, guys, but it's actually good info. So that's where we're with that. There are a lot of pros, guys. Like I said, I love the way this thing's coming out. And one of the pros was finding things that you can get a little cheaper, or maybe shipping is a problem. These wheels, I found these Halibran wheels, which, guys, I am in love with them. It's funny, somebody had a set without the gold inserts or bronze or whatever color, all silver, for like $700 on Marketplace. And I was like, yo, those are dope. And then I was like, I looked into it, and that's when I came up with these, and Holly had them for like $500, 508. It was under $600. I was like, whoa, we're buying those. They were on sale. They were on clearance. And that's when I saw the bronze insert. I went to buy them from Holly. They wanted $500-something shipping. On a whim, I looked at eBay. Same exact wheel, 100% brand new. Guys, they were in the box, wrapped up nice, the whole shooting match. Same exact price that Holly had them for. Free shipping. Buy it now. The tires, same thing. That's how I got the wheels and tires for the Tundra, too. Same thing. Everybody else wanted a ton of money in shipping for wheels and tires. Guys, those are 35s in that truck. Free shipping. So, if you can buy a name brand thing on eBay from like a reputable, look at their feedback, all that kind of stuff, I'd do that 100 times over again. So, that's something you really got to look at. The lights I put on this, same thing. Everything seems to be legit, but it's re-rolling the dice because actually the turn signals I put on the front, they fit. They don't fit factory like though. You gotta maneuver, you gotta mess around. So they're $20, whatever they were. I stand by my decision. They look great. It's just a little frustrating to get them on. There's an old saying, guys, and my buddy Jason used to tell me this all the time. Kevin tells me this all the time. Old Wade kind of does his old Wadeisms to get his point across. Buy once, cry once. So, because of my decision making, we're wrapping it up. I'm going to spend more money on the mirrors, and nobody's going to want to buy these guys. So there's that, right? I'm going to spend more money on the stereo. But the sun visors, guys, the longer I waited, they kept going up. So I could have bought them for $100, and it cost me $150, plus the $40 I wasted from the jerk off. So, the same exact thing with the floor mats, actually, guys. They were $100, now they're like $156. I think I just looked the other day. So nothing's getting cheaper. All right, so holding on for a sale or something like that, I mean, it is what it is, guys. But if I had to do all over again, I would have bought the 454 wheels. I don't know about the stereo, not 454 wheels. Mirrors, I looked right at it and said wheel. Either way, guys, take my advice, don't take it, whatever you got to do. Just think it over, and it's crazy. I think about this stuff so much, and then I make a bad decision. So that really does bother me. I got to fix that. But hopefully this helps you out. If you're buying one of these, trucks, awesome decision. If you're building one, awesome decision. But beware, because when things get more popular and everybody starts doing these things, that's when the Chineseisms come out, and you can find some cheaper stuff, guys. Be careful. Taiwan absolutely screwed me on that frickin' bumper, and well, it's almost like I wasn't around in the 80s and 90s when all the crap came from Taiwan. Man, how did I forget that? Thanks for watching, guys.